Now we got it.
All right, yeah. My cable for these things. I think since they started making wireless headphones, they're just like, who gives a shit? Just put together some like shoddy ass cable. They'll run it. They don't really need it. And so yeah, that's like I have to keep jiggling this cable. I mean, I could put on wireless, but then I'd have to like go to the I
You
tap
get those
in.
5G waves into your head, man.
Oh,
Don't do it, bro.
speaking of 5Gs, I'm in the middle of having a passionate conversation with Ron Grimaldi,
Nice.
because so obviously I play in a band called Cover Me Bad, and we just play a few times a year, and we just do covers, and we've been doing it since 2011. So I posted a screenshot of the conversation of on how we pick songs, and my friend Mike, who's the other guy that's been there the longest, me and him, he's like, why aren't we opening up Halloween shows with this? And it was like an AFI song. And I'm thinking,
Mhm.
like, because nobody fucking gives a shit about AFI,
Right.
and it was a song called Fall Children. So I was like, listen, I was like, the next 10 people you see, ask them if they know Fall Children from AFI. And if they all say yes, then I'll fucking sing the song. So I posted the screenshot of the conversation, but it's funny because that Mike will go for these obscure songs, and then I'll be like, "Hey, can we do Mr. Brightside from the Killers?" So it's like a pure
Yeah.
contrast because say what you want when you play the right song at these places, it's a lot of fun, and
Sure.
of course, we'll add in the obscure things that we like or that 10 people like.
Mhm.
And then I posted it, and Ron's just like, he's just like, that screenshot just goes to show how little you know about like punk rocker music. And I wrote, oh my God, how can I live on? How can I fucking live on, But yeah,
Uh,
it's a funny conversation. And then I put it on the Facebook thread, and everyone who's commenting and saying we should add it to the set list, I'm looking for you at the next show. I'm
there
gonna
you
I'm
go.
gonna I'm gonna visibly look for you, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, we're doing it. So, um, yeah. So today on this fine rainy, I don't know. I haven't been outside yet. Maybe it's raining. I have no idea.
It's
Red
gonna
River.
rain tonight, tomorrow.
Oh, maybe
No
it's tonight.
snow. Bullshit.
Okay, that's fine. So,
Shit. Give me
uh,
snow.
yeah, I figured let's just like kick the year open with some things that some TV shows and movies that we're looking forward to from next year. And I'm gonna say one more thing that yeah. So yesterday I was like
Hmm.
flipping through. I forgot what I was flipping through. Maybe HBO, and I saw the Blue Lagoon. Right? So I'm like,
Oh
as a,
shit.
as a kid, we had that tape. I just remember the Blue Lagoon because as a kid, who didn't have a crush on Brooke Shields, right? Now, granted,
Come on.
she was probably 5 years older than me by the time I had a crush on her, but
Right.
but now that movie never moved on. It stayed. Now I'm 45 looking at this girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't I, like it's such a weird thing where I'm just like, oh yeah, like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old me is like, what? Because we had the VHS back then. Like,
Yeah.
if you're, you had these movies, and if you had 10 movies, that was the loop. That was your loop. You would watch them over and over again. I haven't
Yeah, no
watched
one
it.
had a vast VHS collection. It was like a family had a handful of films, and you
Yeah.
saw those films like 8,000 times.
And then later on, as the 80s moved on, they sold blank VHS tapes, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
game changer.
And you're like, at, whatever the speeds were, EP would give you 6 hours.
SLP baby, get like would you get 6 hours on that? I think
Yeah.
2 hours on SP, and then
I,
there was EP, I think.
I don't
Extended
remember.
play was the
Yeah.
middle one. And I think they went up by increments of 2 hours. And I think on
Two,
SLP, you got shittier quality, but you got 6 hours of tape.
so two, 4, and 6. But as a kid, I didn't really understand that. That's the one thing about being the oldest in the family with two young parents that were never home. I had to figure everything out. So I'm like, okay, 6 hours. makes all the sense to me. This is what we're gonna do it on, because then I can get
Of
three
course.
movies on here. And I remember just like, going to my grandmother's house and like take, because she had like all the channels. She even had like, the movie channel. Back then, if you had HBO, you were cool. If you had Showtime, it was, But then from there, it went to like Cinemax, and then the very last thing at the very tail end was the movie channel. And
Yeah.
she had all of them, and I just remember like putting like the VHS in for movies I didn't even care about. I'm like recording switching channels with fucking Burt
Hmm.
Reynolds. Like I'm like, I need this and Ruthless People and on the same cassette videotape.
My dad, when he had the 7-Eleven, they won some contest selling some shit there. I don't know. And the Southland Corporation gave them like early on a VHS camera, which were like, fucking 30 pounds of like equipment that would be up there. But I found out early how to, get the play out cords plug into my VCR, and we rented movies, so I'd take them home. So I would always research the time. So and then if I could get it on an SP, and then I'd dub them, and then rewatch those. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
my game.
You would have them, and sometimes one movie didn't have credits at the end. Like, all right,
Whatever. Who
just
gives a shit?
just missed it.
No one I
Uh
knew what was in it.
so I was like flipping through, and I said the Blue Lagoon. I don't is that I totally
Mm,
forgot. And
yeah.
Karen's like, "Oh God, you saw that movie?" And I was just like, "Well, yeah, I grew up with that." She's like, "Isn't that like kiddie porn?" I was like, "I don't know. Was it? I like it was just such a
Uh,
it was
I
such a
mean, listen,
no,
you
but
know what they were doing when
it
they
was
made it.
it was such a like I don't know, like I didn't, you don't really think, you don't associate those like whatever memories or whatever opinions she has of your like memories. It's like, no, well, because I'm 8 years older, so I
Yeah.
grew up watching it, and she, might have read about it, in 2023 or something, like that this movie's
No,
bad.
as a kid, you were a young kid. You watch, obviously, there's an appeal there to the, 40, 50-year-old guys that made it and produced it.
Yeah.
Probably a
Yes.
weirder story there. But you, as a youth,
Yeah.
it would mean something to you.
So
Just
I'll
like we're going to talk about anticipated movies like Beetlejuice 2, I'm looking forward to.
no,
But
but
when
I'll,
Winona Ryder put me on the map there, but I was a kid too, you know what I mean? So like when you watch
absolutely.
it as an old man, you were there now.
That's a good point right there too, because Winona Ryder, when you look back, we were very close to her age, if
Hmm.
anything, older or younger. But to finish up the Brooke Shields thing, so she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, there's, her mom." She kind of like kicked some knowledge to me, and I was like, "Oh, interesting." And then I went on to Hulu, and she has like a documentary about her, and I'm
Hmm.
watching this other movie called Pretty Baby that makes
Well, that I was going to mention that. That's really fucked up
woo,
that that
yo,
exists.
what it like? I'm like,
It's insane
yo, it's
that that's
absolutely.
got made and was released. It's insane.
I'm about an hour into the documentary, and we're into the Blue Lagoon now. But as I'm watching the Pretty Baby stuff, I'm just like, oh my God, what the
Yeah.
fuck is like Keith Carradine or what are the Carradine, like he had to
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yo, it was
I couldn't
fucking,
watch that. I couldn't watch that.
it's
You know, it's too
fucking
fucked up.
bonkers. It's fucking completely, but then they showed the talk shows, and at least they got backlash even back then and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was just
Probably
like,
not enough.
uh, I guess not. But that her
Yeah.
documentary's up on Hulu
Sure.
for sure.
Besides, am I giving too much noise here? Do you hear a lot of background noise or no?
No,
Because my fucking downstairs is still not rebuilt, so I'm in like this weird corner by a vent and shit. So, all right,
you're in the closet.
basically,
Um, but yeah, that was funny. So
yeah,
she ruined my memory. So thanks
nice
to
going.
thanks to Karen. Um, anyway, so let's just do a couple of things too. Like the dream scenario thing that Nicolas Cage is in. Have you seen that trailer? It's an A24
Oh
movie.
yes, I haven't seen it, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
So you know who directed that?
No,
The
who?
same guy who did Sick of Myself.
Oh shit, no, I didn't know that.
Neither did
Wow.
I. Yeah.
Okay, I got to get on that then. Is that out on streaming yet? I
Yeah,
know it's
yeah.
out of the theaters.
Yeah, they're both out on. I mean, obviously, Sick of Myself was your number one movie of the year,
Love it.
and Dream Scenario just hit streaming. Um, and
I was
you know,
happy to see some other people saw it. Sick of myself too in the group. So I want more people to watch it. It's like this movie Bloody Oranges, this French movie. I loved. I championed the year before. I think I haven't think anyone's seen it, but anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
no, yeah, you're right. That Bloody Orange is on Shutter. I was like scroll by,
Yeah,
but those are
it's
two
so good.
movies that I didn't get a chance to see. Before we hit the list, we went to go see Poor Things together, which is the
Oh yeah.
Yorgos Lanthimos movie. From The Lobster, Killing of a Sacred Deer, Dogtooth. Um,
Mhm.
Man, you never know what to expect. I skipped his last movie, The Favorite, just because I saw the setting and just like people like Paul Thomas Anderson made like the Phantom Thread. There's certain trailers and like vibes that I get from things from directors that I love that I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. So I skipped The Favorite, and then we went to go see Poor Things, and we saw it in 2024. And technically, like I feel like I'm almost going to add it to this year's list because it got released so late in theaters, and we didn't get a chance to
Right.
talk about it. But I know we both loved it, and I just wanted to give that a shout out. Right?
Amazing, amazing looking movie. I highly recommend if you could see it in the theater. I mean, it looked incredible and shit, but just the black and white shots versus the color, and that when she goes and travels abroad, how it opens up a lot of fisheye shit. Like it was like I was watching a skateboard video or Hype Williams did it or some shit. But it was great. I had a great time. It was Emma Stone was incredible, amazing. Everybody was great in it, really though. Defoe,
Everyone, yeah, everyone was, and it's like it was sweet. It was also absurd, but the direction, the fisheye to like the black and white to like the camera angles that were like jarring. Like it's like, okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna put the camera here and I'm gonna have the same scene, a regular scene. It's just the camera's gonna be like on the floor in a corner somewhere.
yeah, yep.
Just and then like the paintings that they were in, like the boat and
Mm.
all these things were just. I
The
mean,
boat, it was incredible. I mean,
I
that looks so good.
yeah. So he talked about it. There was a clip online where they talked about how they did it. So it was Ruffalo, Emma, and the director. Man, I once again just might be it might be my favorite of the three movies of his that I saw.
I think so. It is for me, for sure.
Yeah,
And I saw the thing. I like that movie. I know what you're saying and that period piece thing. I don't always jive with that shit, but he has this way and he does it for things too. Even though it's in like that kind of Victorian age, whatever, for lack of a better term, the humor in it is kind of like modern. I don't know if that's explaining it right, but there's like they talk like you wouldn't expect from one of these like you think it looks like one of those Downton Abbey fucking kind of shows or some shit, but there's a way that people characters talk that keeps it from not getting all dry and shit.
yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, it really reminded me when I really soaked it in. It was like Forrest Gump in a way, but with a woman and
Mm-hmm.
just on drugs, basically.
And
Just
fucking
and a lot of fucking, a lot of fucking, a lot of dicks. Yeah, they really went for it on this, and it's just
don't take the family. Don't
yeah.
take the family.
Yo, my friend Mike Terry, who we're gonna do the Alkaline Trio episode with, he texted me and he said so him and his dad always go to the movies, I think, like around after New Year's. So he's like, I really want to go see Poor Things, but my dad wants to see Night Swim, which I'll mention. I just about Night Swim later on. But I was like, man, I'm like, what are you kidding me? In my head, I'm not even thinking about the dad aspect. I'm like,
Yeah,
you want to see a fucking movie about a pool, or do you want to see Emma Stone in a softcore movie?
yeah, right.
And then and then
Pretty much.
and then he wrote, he's like, yeah, he's like, I really don't want to watch sex shit with my dad. I was like, yo, that's a really good point.
Yeah,
Skip it. Skip that movie.
no
wasn't th-
doubt.
wasn't thinking that angle. So but anyway, if you get a chance, please watch Poor Things in theaters. It's a masterpiece. So let's do, I picked 10 movies that I was looking forward to next year. I don't know how many you picked. And then I picked
I just wrote a big
three.
ass list, so
Good.
just fire off whatever. I even wrote down some music I'm looking forward to this year, but
I didn't go that deep. I just went for a couple of TV
yeah,
shows. So give me
all
something
good.
off your list.
This one I've seen in production for a minute, but Coppola's movie, Megalopolis, I believe it's called. Um, like a drama sci-fi film. Basically, the what the subtitle was: an architect wants to rebuild New York City as a utopia after disaster. Aubrey Plaza, Jason Schwartzman, Shia LaBeouf, Dustin Hoffman, Giancarlo Esposito, Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, and
Stat.
Coppola. I mean, Coppola's so interesting because, like, you talk about a guy that made like two of the greatest movies of all time. Uh, three maybe if you're including Apocalypse Now. I don't put that up with The Godfathers, but regardless. And then he like kind of I don't know, just went off making wine or whatever. And the last couple of things he's done, there was a movie Twixt. I think it came out maybe like it was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Uh, God, maybe 8 years ago. I don't even know when.
I think it was like
But he,
2011 or something.
yeah, yeah. So he made like a couple of movies the last decade. That's it. He's really not, you know, you don't see much of him and stuff. But still, when he makes a film, it's an event, and this has promise. So I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So I'm going to pick a movie called Mayhem that I've been looking forward to. It's the director of Frontiers, which is that French extreme.
Good one.
So also from the producers of Gangs of London, because if you watch the trailer, it looks like The Raid. So it's just, this boxer, like something happens to his family. It's just like every movie now, whether it's The Equalizer or Silent Night or whatever. It's that formula of the
Pretty much.
80s. It's that formula of the 80s. Like, when you take John Matrix from Commando, they kidnap Alyssa Milano, or as he called her in the movie, Chene. Chene. And then he literally goes to Barbados and kills about 300 people just to get her back. No questions asked.
So great.
But the trailer to Mayhem looks great. Just it looks like the Raid adjacent. Pure brutality. If you've watched Frontiers, pure brutality. So definitely, it comes out January 5th. I think it might be in theaters, so hopefully we'll get a VOD soon.
I'm sure we're going to share a couple of these. I'll get right off the bat. Oh, I mentioned it before, Beetlejuice too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a movie that's been discussed for decades, I would think, at this point.
Always
And
fake.
then always fake, the fake posters, they got me every fucking time with it and shit. But then when I started seeing pictures of Winona from the set and this and that, listen, it's a Catherine O'Hara is back, Foe's in it. Uh, Burton, I never thought when I was younger that there'd be a day where I really didn't give a shit about Tim Burton movies, but for a long time now I have. Once in a blue moon, but
I agree. Yeah.
it got a little too, the formulaic, I guess, for lack of a better term. I heard Wednesday's good. I have not watched that, but yeah, listen, Winona Ryder in the Lydia Dietz role. Are you fucking kidding? I mean, I'm so there. Can't wait for the nostalgia feelings. Great.
I
I
just,
hope.
that's the whole thing, with all these other movies, there's a few that have that level. Um, but like if Mayhem sucks, the one that I just mentioned, who cares? It's like, okay, if this movie did, but Beetlejuice, goddamn, that's like if Beetlejuice 2 sucks, that would be heartbreaking.
It
It
would
would
suck.
just be like, and I saw the teaser trailer, and I just, there's certain things. Maybe it's just technology. It's just I just have to get out of that mindset of like, oh, it just doesn't look the way I wanted it to look. It looks like a lot of
Yeah,
CGI smoke and all this other nonsense. And maybe that's just the way things are, and I just have to embrace it. But yeah, I have Beetlejuice 2 on my list as well. It's just, you know, uh, I can't wait to watch it. But it's I don't know. There's so much that can go
yeah,
wrong. Because the first movie is one of those movies that you could still put on with your son. You could put on with kids or people our age, and it still hits.
sure.
That universe was fucking pure magic. So um,
Coming out in September too, going into the Halloween season. So I'll be there for it. Week
good, good,
opening weekend.
good. Okay, so I mentioned Night Swim. That was another one. I wanted to just talk about that because there's very few times that I sit in a theater and watch a trailer and
Yeah,
get annoyed. It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes Blumhouse is so hard to take. Sometimes James Wan is just like, oh, how do these movies make so much money? But they do. Good for him.
yeah.
Um,
Honestly, what I have that thing where I can use get two movies a month. I pay for the pass or whatever, and I was looking at shit just maybe because this month looks slim and shit. Me and my son, and I saw that one you're talking about right now, and I looked at the poster, briefly read a line, saw Bloomhouse, and no, I'm like, I am not fucking going to see this.
I'll eat my words if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'll come here and I'll fucking, talk
What's the
to
gist of it? What's the pool is killing people? Is that what I'm getting at?
yeah, I guess that's basically it. This couple with their, son and daughter move into this house, and the pool might be haunted. There might be something going on with the
Oh,
pool.
come on.
I yo,
Whenever there's a fucking threat that's so easy to avoid, like, all right, I won't go swimming, so I'll be all right.
yeah, the pool's haunted. Don't go in it. Like, you know what?
I gotta go.
Yeah, from June to August, maybe it's tempting. Other than that, the other 9 months, you're like, yeah, you got the cover on. I just picture them like being like, okay, we can't do a haunted house anymore. They're sitting in like the boardroom. They're like, what could we do? Haunted shed?
Yeah. Listen, it's the same dumb, you had Deathbed a million years ago. Remember Blood Beach? It's the same fucking like
But at
what
least
environment can we just kill people in?
listen, I'll tell you this, at the very least, getting killed by sand sounds terrible. Like
Okay, I'll give you that.
yeah, because if you're at the beach or anywhere near there, like there's sand everywhere. This is just like, we can't do the haunted house anymore. Let's just how about the haunted pool?
Oh
Can't
my God.
they already did Christine, so everything in the house is just like,
Yeah.
the
Maybe
pool.
that's the trick of the movie. I need to figure out. Just pick some shit around the house, figure out a
Yeah.
way to kill people in it.
Yeah, yeah, and Maximum Overdrive already used all that stuff, so I think
So
the
you won't be going to see that movie. Is that what you're saying?
I will wait till it's streaming, because eventually people watch stuff. Like when I saw the trailer for Megan, I was like, this is offensive. This is offensive to my eyeballs. This is just offensive to everything. And this whole year, it's made it on people's like top 10 lists. And they're like, hey,
That movie sucks dicks, man.
did
I
you
don't
watch
get
it?
it. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
terrible. I don't know. I did see a lot of people and people whose opinion I respect did enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. I
I,
didn't
I, I
find
think
it fun at all.
I think they just were basically saying like, hey, it's dumb and it knows it and it just kind of had fun with it. So I
It's
think
a
that's
popcorn horror flick. I get it, but definitely I was not into it. I'm
fair.
not into all the small killer shit. Chucky, leprechauns. I fuck all.
Except Puppet Master.
Puppet Master. The guy with the little head, the little Beetlejuice head. He's all right.
That guy's good. He should have been in Megan. That's who should the movie should have been in. Then
Now
I would
you're
have liked it.
talking.
So what do you have?
Um, well, Todd Solondz. is
Oh,
returning to
I didn't know that.
yeah, he's got a film called, I don't know a lot about the film, so I'm just kind of mentioning it because a lot of people didn't know, trying to pull young Jamie here and pull it up here. It's called Love Child. Um, but he's obviously a guy that's always making something interesting if he's making something, because it's been a long time since that guy. Basically, the summary: an 11-year-old boy schemes to reshape his mother's love life to disastrous consequences. Colin Farrell, Rachel Weisz added. Not a lot of info on it, but I just wanted to mention it because I'm sure there's a lot of people interested by what he
Yeah,
has to do. It's always something interesting, and a lot of people didn't know he was returning, including myself, but he
include
is.
including myself too. So
Yeah.
coincidentally about Todd, the guy that made Welcome to the Dollhouse and Happiness. I mean, if you're gonna come out of the
Mm-hmm.
gate with those two movies, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
He had a movie which I never heard of. I think Selma Blair was in it, called Dark Horse. It's up on Tubi, and I saw it this year because I was like, oh shit, I never even heard of this. But it was from 2011,
Mm-hmm.
and it was such a bizarre movie. Like,
I saw it.
you did, right? Like, it was
Yeah.
just an odd romance. Yeah, so it was like an odd romance blooms between a chronic underachiever and a depressed woman who's still not recovered from a failed relationship. It's up on Tubi. If it's something that you're into, like Todd Salons, or something like very just offbeat, there really was no rhyme or reason to it. How do you?
Yeah. I'm okay. I agree, but I'm okay with that shit. Like when you get a guy like this that's really coming out of left field and shit like this, you have to be somebody that's gonna be like, I have to make sense of every little detail in this. I have to, this all has to sum up nice and whatever. You just kind of go with it for the Todd experience. And that's all his films. That's all I go into it with. Because also you mentioned, what he came out of the gate with. Storytelling was great. Life during wartime was great. Palindromes wasn't in love with that, but
Yeah, I
but,
forgot about
but yeah, this
storytelling
guy's
too.
going to take big swings, and I love it. So I'm excited to see what he does next.
That's sure. He definitely is taking big swings. That's for sure.
Yeah, some of the
Um,
most disturbing cinema I've ever seen. This guy's responsible for. He makes films that I think are good, but I don't. I question whether I'd want to see them again. If that
I
makes sense.
Yeah, like we were just talking about, like, the Brooke Shields things, and it's funny, like in Welcome to the Dollhouse, you have Wiener Dog, Heather Matarazzo, and then that girl who's bullying her. And she was just like, they're doing that bathroom scene.
Yeah,
And I'm like, probably like 20 years old watching this movie, and these like probably like middle schoolers are in this doing this scene. And she was just like, leave the door open when you use the bathroom. I want to watch you shit. And she was just like, I'm like watching this. And that was the beauty of like independent cinema in the 90s. Like,
yeah,
we weren't accustomed to things like that. And, the VHS boom really put some of those things in our living room.
sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep going down. Destroy All Neighbors. Did you see that trailer?
No, I did not. No.
All right, I think it's gonna drop on Shutter January 12th. It's described as gory practical effects meets prog rock, which is fucking hilarious to me. So,
Wow.
Alex Winter is in it. And I think it's just basically this guy who gets fired from his job, and he's trying to create the greatest prog rock album of all time, yet somehow he ends up like killing people along the way. Like, the trailer is bonkers. I can't, like, it just looks like a bigger budget trauma movie, but
Yeah.
with big actors. So January 20th, Destroy All Neighbors. Watch that trailer and tell me you don't want to see that, because
Yeah.
it's just more lineage of like, we need more Deathgasm. you know did you put
I'm
Deathgasm 2
there.
on the list?
No, I did not. Was not aware of that either. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was coming out this year.
All right,
About time.
Destroy All Neighbors. Here we go.
I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what. I'm gonna. This one, I'm not sure. I'm excited about it, but anticipating being disappointed. But Nosferatu, the Robert Eggers interpretation of Nosferatu. Robert Eggers, as far as that A24 kind of, I'm more of an Ari Aster guy than Robert Eggers. I hated The Lighthouse. I hated The Witch.
The
But
Northman. Did you
The
like?
Northman I love though. So I know, and this guy makes, he could shoot a beautiful scene. Don't get me wrong, but I just find I'm not always going. I'm not a fanboy for that guy. That I'm like gonna okay, must see, but not for Atu. One of the greatest. Uh, the silent film still is amazing all these years later. It's one of the most important films in horror history. Uh, I'm looking forward to see because it looks beautiful when I've seen the shot. So I'm hoping it's good.
Is it going to be in black and white?
I've seen what I've seen. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Unless it's going to be a thing where like Poor Things or something that have multiple, but I believe it's in black and white. So I'm hoping it's great.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Right out of the gate, I thought The Witch was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Shot beautifully, acted wonderfully. Yeah,
Sure.
it gave us Anya
Yep.
Taylor Joy. Uh, then The Lighthouse is just something I didn't really want to watch. The Northman was something that I probably would have watched, but once again, it's just like everything. It's like when you meet somebody at a party and you talk to them about 10 things, and you're like, I need to go talk to someone else because we're just not like, it's like if I'm talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
if I'm talking about anal sex, you're talking about getting your dick sucked. It's just not gonna work. And like I feel like everything that he's into, like
Right.
if I gave him the aux cable, we might have an issue. I might have to take that
If
shit.
if I hated the Northman, I'd probably be already angry that this even exists. But I'm gonna hope it's good because
Okay.
Nosferatu, it's been Herzog made a great reinterpretation of that with Klaus
So
Kinski in the '79, I think that was '78. I mean, but
Willem
it can be
Dafoe
done.
did one too.
He did the interview with a vampire,
Okay.
which was not a remake of the film, but the making of that film and with the lore behind it that the guy
Oh,
was
okay.
really a vampire.
Okay.
But Defoe's in this. He's not playing Nosferatu, but anyway, let's hope it's good.
Um. Okay. We both have Terrifier 3, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So, man, that little teaser trailer at the end of they put Terrifier 2 back in the theaters, and just that little teaser, which was probably like 2 minutes long, of just like art as Santa Claus, and
Hmm.
the beauty of these Neanderthals, you know, like Damon Leone gets all this praise and notoriety, and like all these studios are giving him money to make this movie, and apparently that fell through because of that first scene. I could only imagine that kid is not making it to the fifth or
Yeah.
sixth minute of the movie. And they were probably just like, so like all those I forgot who was courting them, or who was wanted to fund them, but they were like, you can't do this, and he was like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
do it.
I love
So
it.
shout out to him, because at the end of the day, like, what is he's doing his thing. That's it.
Fuck yeah. I'm curious what his plans are. Like if he plans on branching out of the Terrifier universe, or when he's gonna, or see what he does.
Well, somebody suggested he remake or do a Friday the 13th, and he was like, I would love it. So that would
Oh,
be.
Jesus. Well, that could be. I know they've settled up a lot of that shit's been in litigation forever, I think,
I
along the
think I think
properties of that.
I think they're good on it now.
Exactly. Well, that brings me, I'll throw it out there right now.
Oh, the Peacock
It,
thing.
yeah. Do we have any confidence this is going to be any good? The Friday the 13th series?
Is it
I
going to
don't
be
know.
good? So listen, at the end of the day, when you really think of something being good, I have to take it for its best sequel. It's like,
Mhm.
is it going to be as good as Friday the 13th 6? Is it going to be as good as Friday the 13th 4? I mean, these are good sequels and they're good horror
Yeah.
movies. I can't imagine that anyone who doesn't like the genre would watch those movies and be like, this is great. So as long as it's on that level, I think I have faith in it, and I can't wait. I can't wait to get a Friday the 13th show, and it's Brian Fuller, I believe. So it's, yeah, I don't know. I have faith that that's going to be really good.
I hope so. I don't know. I feel like that's another thing I've heard about for a for a long time. But
The Maniac
uh,
Cop one too that fell through.
yeah, that was sounded too good. Was that HBO? Was the rumor
Yeah,
like they were? I'm
yeah,
like, God, they really? I'm like, that sounds odd.
yeah. It wasn't even
Shutter,
like
Shutter
like
original series.
or Tubi
Yeah, yeah,
or
exactly.
Freevee. Um, okay, so yeah, Terrifier 3. I mean, it's just I could only imagine the ridiculousness that is going to be in that movie, and he's like Big Ghost LTD right now. Everything he puts out beat wise, we're very much in tune with Damien Leone and everything that he's feeding the people that have been missing this stuff,
Hmm.
from the diet. So, what else you got?
Let's see. Well, I'll mention real quickly Quentin Depew, whatever the fuck his name is, who I love. He's got two films coming out this year, Dolly and Yannick. I think they might have been released in Europe already, but his schedule for when shit comes out on stuff to when we get it in the States is always off. So I'm sure I don't really know what they're about, and I don't care. Whatever that guy does, I'm there for it. He's another one that takes a lot of chances, love him or hate him. So I'll just mention that real quickly, and then throw out another horror thing that's coming out. What did I have here? Um, two things that are being remade: Salem's Lot and The First Omen.
Oh, the first Omen. So I thought it was. I think that's a prequel, isn't it? A
Is it a
prequel?
prequel?
I think it's a
Okay.
prequel. Yeah, yeah,
All right. Well, let's say franchise is reviving or whatever. So
yeah.
we have Salem's Lot and The First Omen. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot, but I always love Salem's Lot. The TV movie, parts of it lag, but there's some great imagery in that. Great vampire, the kid floating out the window. There's a lot of good stuff to it. It's a good book, so and a lot of atmosphere. So I'm hoping it's good. Another one that's being made forever, as far as I'm concerned, which is always scary, but I'm hoping for the best.
Good atmosphere for sure. The TV and that vampire. As a kid,
Yeah,
like God damn, that dude's ugly.
super ugly. In the
Yeah,
Nosferatu vampire camp.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Before vampires got sexy, before George Hamilton made it sexy.
Yeah,
Love at
totally.
first bite.
Absolutely. Before Scott Valentine took over the vampire duties in
Yeah,
87.
exactly. Yeah.
Uh
So
right? Was he right? That was Scott Valentine. I'm trying to remember. What was the movie he was in? Do you remember? Nick
when he
from
was in
Family
play,
Nick
that
from
wasn't Rockula, was it? No.
No, hold on. Nick from Family Ties was in a movie. I want to say my best friend's what no, my demon lover. That's what I was thinking. All right, never mind.
Yeah, there's one. My best friend is a vampire, or some shit
Yeah.
like that. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
another one in it?
That's
Yeah,
another one. Yeah.
good
So
stuff.
and the Omen, a prequel. I don't know if I care about a prequel. I liked one, but
Yeah,
our age demo, like two, is the one I connected with, and then I love Sam Neill in the final was it Final Conflict? Omen 3. I forget
it
exactly.
was the final conflict.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull it up to see
That was great.
what exactly it sounds. You're right. Oh, it's probably a prequel. Sounds like it.
Well, yeah, because it said the first Omen. That's the name of it.
Young
Direct
American woman is sent to Rome to begin a life of service to the church, but encounters a darkness, causes her to question her faith, and uncovers a terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring about the birth of evil incarnate.
Directed by David Gordon Green.
No, I'm
No,
looking. I was like, is it?
no,
Shit, is it?
no.
Yeah, you can stop saving franchises now. Okay,
Yo,
go
you
back to funny shit. All right, it's
did
all
you
good.
did you watch that Exorcist one that he did?
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I took the family to that shit. We all
Oh,
agreed it was one of the worst movies we've ever seen in my life. Not just last year. That movie's atrocious. If you say it's good too, I question whether I could like look at you straight in the face. Like if there's somebody's like, I like that movie. Like, really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Okay. Yeah, because that was universally panned, and
It's a piece of shit.
I feel like it made him kind of just. I think he stepped away from whatever sequel they had in mind.
Yeah, enough.
Enough
Nobody
of it.
asked you to go on and take all these classic fucking films on. But anyway, what do you got?
Speaking of franchises, the rest are that I have are all actually franchises except for this one, Civil War, Alex Garland. Do you have that on there?
No.
Wow. Okay, so the guy that made Ex Machina and Men,
Okay.
you got to watch the trailer. It's fucking, it looks
I'm,
crazy. So it's
I'm
just,
pulling it up here.
yeah, it's just about a civil war in America, and A24, Kirsten Dunst, her husband Jesse Plemons, I think is like head of some militia, and
Hmm.
the trailer is like kind of creepy. Like you watch it and you're like, oh, this is going to be very well made, you know?
Nick Offerman.
Yeah, yeah. I think Nick
Yep.
Offerman's like the president.
Hmm.
Um, my words will not do it justice. If you want to see something that looks pretty horrifying via A24 with with Alex Garland as the director, watch the trailer and you're going to be very excited to watch this movie.
That's awesome, man. I'm pulling it up. Yeah, I had no idea. I'm glad we did this. See.
So, what do you got?
Uh, let's see which one will go next. I'm excited for Furiosa Mad Max saga. I think the Mad Max reboot, the last one they did, was fantastic. A lot of fun action. I'm looking forward to seeing this in a movie theater.
I still haven't seen Fury Road.
It's so good, man.
I heard.
It kicks fucking ass, man. It's like I don't know. I'd put that in. It's better than like I find the Road Warrior, the first one, like very slow. Like I didn't hold up for me when I watched it older on.
79, man. It's just what it was.
The second one I prefer, the Mad Max, the second one I prefer to the first one. I love Thunderdome. This was awesome way to reboot this franchise. It's a lot of action, killer. Highly recommend it. So I think this is gonna be great.
I figure I've waited 8 years. I might have to, you know,
This is a perfect time though. Another one's coming out. Watch the first one.
yeah.
Get into it.
Yeah,
It's great.
across the board, it's one of those
Yeah.
movies that people definitely love. So,
Anna Taylor Joy's in it. Chris
let's
Hemsworth.
let's dip into these franchises. For me, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire.
Mm.
Um, if you would have just told me the name after watching Afterlife, right? Ghostbusters Afterlife, I think was the one. I would have been like, oh God, because the last one was good, but it didn't really connect with me till the very last like 30 minutes of the movie, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And now that they're making another one, I didn't really think much of it. Like I said, if I would have seen the name, I would have been like, oh great, who's in this one? But but watching the trailer has me excited. Just did you see the trailer yet?
I do. Yeah, they seem to show it before every movie I go see now. But
Okay, yeah, yeah. So it looks really cool. Like New York City freezing over, even like the describing of like the death of it, freezing to death, and your teardrops freeze. All the stuff looks great. The kids, I don't know, just like the trailer looked great. Obviously, fucking what's the fucking kid from Halloween 6?
uh, yeah,
And
remember.
Clueless.
Oh, Paul Rudd,
All right, that guy.
the kid. Yeah, threw
Yeah.
me off. I'm thinking of little kids. Gotcha.
I said the kid from Halloween 6.
Yeah,
But he looks great in it. He seems to be leading the parade here. And it's just, I don't know. Like I said, if I would have read the title, I would have just eye rolled myself to death. Watching the trailer first before knowing it even existed, I was like, "You guys got me. This looks pretty good." So I could be completely wrong. It could be completely terrible.
yeah. I'm gonna wait to see what people think. I'm probably not gonna rush to it. I gotta tell you, I don't know. Like Ghostbusters for me, I don't even know if like the early ones hold up for me anymore. I didn't think they're that funny.
Yeah, I still do. I still love them. Yeah,
You know, it is always a nostalgic piece because that was, a huge piece of pop culture history. Everybody fucking saw those movies and shit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna wait to see what people think of it. But yes, I do agree though that the trailer looked normally like I wouldn't even look at up at it normally.
yeah, yeah.
I hear
Cool.
it on the Ghostbusters thing, but
All right, what do you got?
Alto Night.
Love that one.
This is yeah,
No,
this
I'm just
this
kidding.
is Barry Levinson movie
Oh, cool.
starring Robert De Niro. Back in the wheelhouse I like him from. Listen to this summary. Vito Genovese and Frank Costello, a pair of Italian Americans who run two separate crime families in the mid 20th century. Genovese attempted to assassinate Costello in 57, although Costello retired from the mob. So the story of their battle, De Niro playing Genovese, Catherine Narducci's in it, a whole bunch of people that you've seen probably in Sopranos, Law and Order episodes, Oz, or anything else shot in New York of that old of Italian background. But I'm signing me up. I'm there.
Sign me up too. So Barry Levinson, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, man.
That's a good one, and that's a cool story too. Like I know a little bit of that back history, and it's a random story to pick, which I like. It's just like
Hmm.
this, their thing.
Yeah.
Um, I got three left. I'm gonna do Beverly Hills Cop 4. Um, I just recently rewatched 1 and 2. Yeah, one is just still really funny.
You want
It's,
to know something? I
yeah.
don't think I've ever seen Beverly Hills Cop 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you haven't
It's
seen
like
any of
this
them?
is your spinal tap
You
with
haven't
the
seen any of them?
reaction. No, I don't think so. There's a good
Wow.
chance I could put it on and maybe be like, oh, okay. Maybe the first one, but I don't have like if you named a scene from it, I wouldn't fucking know. But I'm pretty sure I have not seen any of them.
Is it your
Yeah,
hatred of Bronson Pinchot?
it could be. It could be.
So
No,
1980
on paper, I mean Gilbert Godfrey's in it. It's all shit I should like. It's just one of those things you missed, and maybe, and just never.
1984, if I remember correctly. So that's probably why they're doing part four 40 years
Hmm,
later, which is
okay.
crazy to think. It's great. Part one still holds up. Part two still really good. Three is where it kind of falls off. You know,
Hmm.
they went in one too many times. And part four, the trailer looks cool, but once again, like who knows? Who knows what it's
When's it
gonna.
coming out?
Let me look.
I was gonna say maybe this will be the time. Maybe I'll watch all three leading into it. We'll
Beverly.
discuss the franchise or something, and then
Second. Summer of 24. All right, so
okay.
yeah, you still have time.
I'm
Uh,
gonna watch those three. You're saying one and two, good. Three falls off.
1 and 2, very good. Just great comedy, great action, great characters, great cast, just a lot of fun. And I just did a rewatch, so it still holds up a lot. Was it 84? Maybe it was 85. I don't know.
Will Jan Hammer return to make this Axel F part? Is that his name? No, it wasn't Jan Hammer. Was it?
Who?
Who did Axel F?
Axel.
Fucking song.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't remember that? That
Oh
fucking
yeah,
song?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Was that Jan Hammer, right? The
I don't.
fucking keyboard guy from
I,
the 80s?
I didn't know that guy had a name. I thought it was just Stan. Din, 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 din. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
super
he was like a guitar playing motherfucker. Now I gotta know.
synonymous. Yeah, when you hear that score, it's I completely forgot about it, but it's up there with it's when you think of Beverly Hills Cop, yeah, like you just think of that
Yeah, that
keyboard.
shit was on the charts, bro. I'm pretty sure.
I believe it. A lot of
Yeah,
babies made to that.
he was the guy. He did like a lot of the Miami Vice music too. This guy had like the '80s guitar shit locked
Yeah.
down.
There's a guy that I follow on Instagram that does that stuff now. Um, let me give him a shout out because he's really good. If you go to Instagram and you follow, I think it's like Sunglass Kid. Sunglass. Yeah, so Sunglasses Kid Music. He's got a lot, like almost 364,000 followers. So he'll have shit on and it'll be like POV. It's 1986 and you're getting away clean from a major heist. And then you hear this. Could you hear it, Brian?
Play it again.
Uh like the next video is like it's 1988 and you're having a very steamy affair in your high-powered corporate job. Like all these fucking things. It's 1988 and you're getting away from a massive shootout in a warehouse.
Oh man, I gotta follow this guy.
Yeah, Sunglasses Music. It's he, it's basically what we just talked. Producer making 80s pop and cinematic instrumentals.
And I was wrong about Jan Hammer. It was Harold Faltermeyer
Oh, that
did
make
Axel F the
you know
song.
you know what? That makes sense now.
Now I know what it is. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, Beverly Hills Cop, summer of
sweet.
24. Could be terrible, but I'm in. I got my last two, so go ahead.
All right. I'm pretty sure I know one of these, but let's throw out Smile 2.
Oh, okay.
Smile 2, and I think isn't It Follows getting a isn't They Follow comes out this year as well?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, so those two right there, very promising. Same director's return for both.
Yeah.
Looking forward to those.
Yeah.
It's always good when they stay. It's always
Especially,
not a good sign when a sequel comes out and there's another guy attached to it and there
yeah.
isn't. You know what I mean? But
Well, I'll always go to Robert Cameron Mitchell, right? I think that's his name, the guy that did
yes.
It Follows.
Hmm.
I'll always go back to Under the Silver Lake, the most polarizing movie ever, which is like you do It Follows and then that's your second movie and it's like that is the most I can't think of a more ambitious movie from a director to go with as your second movie after having a hit like It Follows. It's just a completely fucking bizarre movie. So the fact that he came back to do this, very cool. I like it. I can't wait to watch it.
Yep.
So you have what, Toxic Avenger, right?
No, I didn't put that, but I'm looking forward to it, obviously.
Hold on a second. I got a text back.
Another one that's been kicked around forever, hopefully. Hoping for the best. Seem like good people attached, though.
Let me take 1 second here. Hold on.
Hmm.
I just texted, my girlfriend. I was like, "Yo, that Brooke Shields documentary is crazy." And she texted me back. She's like, "Are you making fun of me?" And I was like, "What? What part of I'm being serious?"
Uh,
Like, because she's like
uh,
telling me this story. She's like, "Yeah, her mom was like, oh, like got this," and I was like, "Wow, news to me." Toxic Avenger, Macon Blair. They put out a trailer, and it was supposed to come out this year, but I think they pushed it off for whatever reason.
hmm.
Macon Blair, the actor in what he was in Green Room, Blue Ruin, Murder Party. Once when I heard Toxic Avenger was getting remade, I was like, this is ridiculous. When I heard the main character was going to be Peter Dinklage, I was like, hopefully it's just the voice. But then when I heard Macon Blair was attached to it, I'm like, okay, here's a guy that seems to be from our universe and sensibilities and would probably understand what it is that he's undertaking.
Right.
So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. The trailer seemed definitely bizarre, but once again, the source material is so fucking crazy. The Toxic Avenger is a fucking crazy fucking movie. So to remake it, like, I don't even know what it's going to be like, but I'm very excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm there for it, man.
Yeah. And it's weird that maybe not weird, and maybe it's extra cool that Peter Dinklage is actually physically the person, not just the voice.
Hmm.
Because the Toxic Avenger is such a hulking, like you get the original, like the redhead little twerp guy. He's not the guy. Melvin's not
Right.
the guy playing, the guy that looks like
That's true.
Michael Myers in fucking, one of the Rob Zombie movies,
Sure.
So, all right, yeah. Next one for you.
Uh, throw out a couple here. One that don't know much about, but it looked interesting to me, called The Parenting. A couple rents a countryside house for a weekend with their parents, and then discover it's inhabited by a 400-year-old poltergeist. Now, sounds generic enough, but the cast is what interested me. You got Brian Cox, Parker Posey, Edie Falco, Lisa Kudrow, uh, Dean Norris, Hank from Breaking Bad. I mean, the cast alone makes me, because I'll look at something with horror, especially, and if I see like who's in it, and you can tell if it's a piece of shit from like some of the, you know what I mean. But if there's no one of note within a certain amount of mentions in the cast or whatever, you can have your apprehensions. But this, that's pretty stacked. That's pretty loaded. And it's listed as a horror comedy, so I don't know what it's got in store, but I am looking forward to it. And one interesting one I'll throw out. I don't know, can't say I'm looking forward to it, but interesting. Faces of Death.
I have that. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with
So
that? What do you know
that's
about
that's
that?
that's my last one. I'm just laughing. I just noticed your name, Clem Fandango.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Toast of London?
No, no, I just thought it was
With
funny. I just got
It's a Matthew Berry show, and it's fucking hilarious. There's a
okay.
guy named Clem Fandango in it.
I
Just
love
a
that.
fantastic name. And he
Uh,
says it. Remember, I said when somebody says someone's full name,
yeah,
it makes me laugh. They
yeah.
use this name in full all the time. Still makes me laugh.
Let me tell you something, Joe Rogan.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So my last mention was Rennie Harlan coming back and doing this Strangers trilogy, but
Mm,
also he's attached to the Faces of Death remake.
interesting.
Um, so if I were to look that up real quick here, I know just from
I think it's the gist is what somebody gets a hold of a VHS tape that's got shit on it. So it's
yes,
not, you know, you can't do what the original, for kids of a certain age wouldn't understand like what Faces of Death meant back in the VHS days, like we were talking about before.
that's exactly what was told to me. Right
I'm
in front.
pulling it up here. A woman employed as a website content
Yep.
moderator comes across a series of violent videos reproducing death scenes from a film.
We
No one I recognize in it.
cleaner working on my friend.
Charlie XCX. I think she's a singer,
She's a rapper, I think.
a
Charlie X.
rapper.
Yeah.
All right. So
Um,
that doesn't sound good.
yeah, the Faces Death movie is the person who curates an all extreme footage that gets submitted to a website called Faces of Death. So
I'm
that's
gonna
based.
call it. This movie's gonna suck.
Yo, but all right, listen, Rennie
I'm not gonna
Harlan.
watch it.
I have all the faith in the guy that made Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Cliffhanger,
Where do
Adve-
you see that he's attached with this though? Because I don't
Advent
see his name on here.
Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I'll tell you off air how.
Oh, okay, got it.
So yeah, I'm very excited that he's attached to it. Period. I could be completely out of my mind, but anyway, the reason I brought him up was the Strangers trilogy that he's
Yeah,
putting out. I don't really understand the point of a
The
trilogy,
Strangers Chapter One, I think it's called,
but
which
I guess we're
maybe
gonna
a
find out.
prequel. I'm guessing, right? Maybe how they came to be. Chapter
Maybe,
One.
maybe. So you have the Strangers, and then you have Strangers Pray at Night, two very different movies. 2008. When I first saw The Strangers, I actually didn't like it. I saw it in the theaters and I thought it was slow and boring. As I got older, I really appreciated it as like a very eerie and atmospheric home invasion movie that really worked. You know, now when I watch it, I'm like, you know what, this is definitely kind of like a frightening movie for sure. Strangers Prey at Night was basically Aliens to Alien, where it was just like, you know, more of like, okay, this is, we need carnage, we need
Mm-hmm.
Damien Maffei, we need a pool scene that's like one of the greatest shot horror scenes of the last 10 years. Total Eclipse of the Heart, right? That's what the song that was playing during that.
Yeah, yeah.
We need Bill Pullman's son. So let's see what direction they take this in. But Strangers Trilogy is obviously on the radar, and that's the last pick I got. I don't know if you have any more movie picks.
I'm gonna spit a few things out. We'll do the music some other time, obviously, because we've yapped long enough. But I'll mention real quick Maxine, Ty West.
Oh
We're all
yeah,
looking forward to that.
duh.
You know, the end of that trilogy, which I guess takes place after the X film would have ended. Um, Post X in 80s LA. Sign me up. Can't wait. That's going to be fantastic. I am interested in Scorsese's Roosevelt with DiCaprio playing Teddy Roosevelt. I think he's one of the most interesting presidents in history. I'm hoping they do well with that. Continues Scorsese's working in that period, you know, the distant history. But um, Sandler and Safdie brothers have some kind of untitled project listed that's coming out. I don't know much about it. I got my eyes on that. Um, a film Jaunty, starring Michael Cera, but it's made by Eric Warheim, who's the other half of Tim and Eric. Tim Heidecker, you see all over the place. Podcasts is a lot of mainstream work. Eric kind of sat in the background, so I'm curious to see what he does. Um, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, looking forward to that. Uh, and then fire off a couple of real quick TV series. I'm looking for the Return of House of Dragon, True Detective season 4 coming out I think out any day now, right?
Well, yeah, that's I had three TV shows, and that's
Oh,
one
I'm
of them.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just fire off mine then, and you could give yours, and then we'll wrap this up. But What We Do in Shadows, season 6, and then I'm not looking forward to this, but I just can't believe it. There's a The Walking Dead. Another, they're going back again. Like, are you fucking kidding me with this shit? I mean, it's a joke at this point. I
Would
mean,
would
really.
would Rick and Michonne?
Yeah,
Yeah.
enough with this shit. I mean, how long has this show been on, or versions of it?
We
Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm a zombie fucking nut job. When this shit was announced, it was like a cream dream. You know what I'm saying? Like I was all about it, and I was for a few seasons until it just went off, started going off the rails. And I know so many people that just had to stop watching it. It takes a lot for me to just stop, and I couldn't give a fuck.
I I was in so yeah, there was a lot of good stuff towards the end. The last season was really good. Unfortunately, you needed to get to the last season to watch it. So
Yeah, that Negan shit, that got so stupid, man. The whole shit got stupid as fuck.
he was badass and mean for one episode, and then after that, he
Well,
was.
they let Glenn live in one other scenario where
I
I knew he
remember.
wouldn't with that
I remember.
dumpster. And I was
Yep.
like, fuck this show. That's when I was first like, fuck this show. They brought this Negan guy in and they brought that episode out. And I was like, oh shit, when you know, with the fucking eye popping out. I'm like, this shit, we're back, baby. And then that quickly, that I lost the love for it afterwards. I'm like,
One
this guy with
episode.
this bat, they jumped this dude in 2 seconds. This guy's walking around town, running a town full of people with a barbed wire bat. Fuck out of here with this shit.
Yeah, that one episode was so good. We're like, oh my god, yeah, it's brutal. And then if there must have been like 8 episodes of nothing after that,
Oh,
you're just like, what is going on? We're like, you just had this like amazing kickoff, and now nothing. But the last season was cool, and then once it like broke, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like wrap it up. And then at the end of the last episode, they're like, oh yeah, but there's like 18 other shows that it's breaking up into, and I'm like, no, 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 nope, 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 no, not gonna do it. Not gonna watch 6 episodes of Dead City. I just, but some people love it, so good for them.
that shit. It's like an American horror story. It's like
Yeah,
we're just gonna. we have no respect for the audience. You're just gonna watch this shit. You've watched it this long, and you're gonna keep fucking watching it, no matter how shit it is. Like fuck you, I ain't wasting my time. But go ahead. What are your shows?
So I have three that
Yeah,
I didn't want to go further than January because we're here and
sure.
the anticipation is perfect for the month. True Detective, of
Hmm.
course. I thought, the last season with Mahershala Ali was great. I
I
thought it
didn't
was.
see it,
Oh,
but I
really?
did hear it was a good rebound
It's
from number
yeah,
two.
it's fucking fantastic. Both, Steven Dorff and him are very good in it. The second one, we're all fascinated by the story of Griselda Blanco, Griselda on Netflix. Obviously, if you get Sofia Vergara, who's arguably the hottest Colombian to play arguably the ugliest Colombian, there's going to be some sort of humor to that, and it's
Slightly more attractive.
and it
Uh,
seems like, yeah, she would be very happy if she was still alive and knew that that's who was playing her.
are you kidding me? Of
Yeah,
course.
she'd be like, "Yep, I could see it. I could see it." This female drug kingpin who is just ruthless. If you want to know more about her before the show, watch Cocaine Cowboys. It'll tell you pretty much everything about her as well as the second one. Um,
Not as good.
Not as good, but
That's
you get more of like the story after the story.
right.
But it looks very sanitized. It doesn't look like, it looks like flashy cameras and I
That's going to be on what?
Netflix.
Netflix.
And the last thing on Netflix I'm going to mention is American Nightmare, which is a docu-series about this girl who gets kidnapped. Her, I guess her boyfriend calls and she's like, she was abducted by people in wetsuits. Next thing you know, like they're looking for this girl, and like a few days later or a week later, I forget, she pops up and says that her abductor just dropped her off, and then the story
Mm.
takes off from there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's the trailer is up
Nice.
for American Nightmare on Netflix, and that's it. That should give
Cool.
you a lot of things to look forward to this year.
Yes.
You've said it all.
And things not to look forward to. We got to do that.
Yeah, things not to look forward to.
But yeah, a lot of good stuff. Maybe we'll do this again. Talk about some music coming out this year. But we're going to try to get at least two of these out a month. I think that's a reasonable goal.
Reasonable goal. Here's the first one.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
all right.
All right, man.
Later.
Bye.